Indian airline Jet Airways is almost unbelievably set to emerge out of the ashes to soar again. Now, I'll be joined in a few moments by the man leading the effort to save the airline, Murali Lal Jalan, the lead member of the Jalan Calroc Consortium. Now, if this happens, it'll be one of the biggest turnarounds in aviation anywhere. Jet Airways, and we'll be speaking to Mr. Jalan in just a little while. Now, the Calroc Jalan Consortium has sought reallocation of Jet Airways' erstwhile landing slots. Now, that's where presently the entire situation lies. Now, there is the company law board which is actually looking at this and whether this can be given. But some of the issues before the airline actually flies, and the expectation is that it'll be about 4 to 6 months before it flies again. The aviation watchdog, that's the DGCA, and the Civil Aviation Ministry earlier said the new owners will have to reapply for the slots which they had in a sense lost when the airline was grounded. So they need those slots, the routes essentially, before they can take off and fly again. Prior to grounding, Jet Airways owned premium landing slots in metro cities, also abroad. So that needs to be sorted out. So is this really a delay in the process of approval by the National Company Law Tribunal? The airline actually says no, it's not much of a delay per se. It's a process before this can actually start happening. But they are very, very optimistic. And therefore, once it does start, Jet will start to revive operations at a time when the industry is struggling. But they are very hopeful that things will actually work out, because this is an area which is in a bit of a crisis now, a big one, let's face it, no two ways about it. But going forward, demand will revive. Of the Jalan Calroc Consortium, it's wonderful to speak to you. I've personally tracked Jet so very closely. How soon are you hopeful of seeing Jet fly again?
Good evening. Thank you for having me to be here today and chat with you. I'm at least expecting to fly Jet Airways again on the air in the next 6 months after the NCLT clearance. So it's all depend on the NCLT, but we are hoping to start within 6 months time.
And so in terms of the NCLT clearance, is this, just for the benefit of our viewers, the last, I won't use the word hurdle, but the last clearance that you require before you fly?
Once NCLT clear, the most of the things will be done. I would say there will be so many other permissions are required, but that is not the big hurdles, because NCLT is a judiciary, you can understand, and until the judiciary will not clear and they will not direct to the respective these peoples, we will not be able to fly. So, but after the once it is done in NCLT, then I don't think a big hurdle at all.
And when do you expect a verdict from the NCLT one way or the other? What is the legal time frame?
Legal time frame, I don't think I can comment on that, on the judiciary, but we are hoping to be done very, very soon. The way the judiciary NCLT is taking now our case, we are expecting it is to be done very, very soon.
All right. So you've got the dates before which you need to appear before the NCLT and argue your case. That's been given, right?
Yes, yes. It is our lawyers are doing it. That.
All right. Now, how important is it for Jet to get back the routes that the airline once had? Because you had extremely precious routes and you'd want those once again.
Yes, it is very important for any airlines to have the routes, and especially for the Jet. It is the great assets what the Jet used to have. And being it is a full-fledged airlines, we are not going to run as a low-cost carrier. It is going to be a full-fledged airlines, and we have to understand that we have a lot of corporate. Our main aim was to a corporate before, and now we wanted to run the airlines for the corporate. So the slots are definitely very important. Morning, evening, we wanted to fly our passenger in the morning, come back in the evening. So it is very, very important.
So when Jet was actually grounded, a lot of these slots went to other airlines because they were valuable. So they purchased, as I understand it, these particular slots. Even if you don't get those particular slots back, given the fact that there is a sense that aviation is growing, once again in India. It's just a matter of time before you see the numbers rise. Could flights of jet not be accommodated, say 15 minutes or 20 minutes before what you consider ideal, even if you were not to get back the exact departure time that you seek?
First of all, I would like to tell you, in India, I don't think any slot is purchasable. The slots in India, the Civil Aviation Ministry or the airports provide and allocate. So I have not heard yet from anywhere except the Heathrow, the slots are being sold. Heathrow in London, slots are being sold. Most of the other places, it is the government assets and government do it. This is number one. Number two, if the government wanted to give us 15-20 minutes here and there, I don't think it will make a big differences. We feel a lot of infrastructure under the able leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A lot of infrastructure, especially in the aviations, have been done, improved a lot, and especially in the last 1 year and in the coming next 3-4 years, a lot of new airports are coming. Lot of infrastructure is being built. So we are very hopeful that we will get the slot, maybe the same time, maybe 10-15 minutes here and there. That will not make a big difference for us.
So Mr. Jalan, that's actually an important point, and I'm glad that you clarified it. Slot allocation is being done by the Civil Aviation Ministry, the DGCA and the other affiliated. It's not as if in other parts of the world where an airline pays for a slot. That's not happened. And that gives you hope, right? If there is a process of allocation being done by the government, you can get back a lot of the slots that you actually want. There shouldn't be too much of a problem.
It is not only the government. You see, there is a guideline. There is an airport also. So a lot of peoples are involved, but I don't think it is tradable in India. That much I can confirm you. I would not like to take the name of the who is allocating, but you can understand there is a role of a Ministry of Civil Aviation, DGCA, airport. Nowadays, there is a lot of airports are a private airport, so everybody is involved, but I don't think it is tradable. Okay. That much I can confirm.
How do you intend to scale up operations once you do resume flying?
If you have seen my old interviews, we have told that we would like to start with the 25 aircraft. Some of them are the wide-bodied for the international sector, and also the mostly, I think maybe 18 to 20 aircraft is going to be the A320 or 737 narrow-body aircraft, what we call it. So the 25 aircraft, we definitely would like to start within this month, within this year, and then we would like to scale up to 125 aircraft in the next 5 years. What it used to be the Jet Airways before it's ceased the operations.
Do you see yourself simultaneously starting international and domestic operations?
Yes, we are very hopeful to start international and domestic simultaneously. Maybe little bit, maybe a month or 2 months, it depends on all the permissions we are going to get from the international airports also, and there is a rights also. We have a lot of formalities is to be done, but we wanted, that much I can comment that we wanted to start, but it depends on all the other permissions.
The financial viability of any airline, full service in the world, is the configuration that you actually have of the aircraft. The Jet has had this particular configuration inside for a period of time, and you've got large aircraft, 777-300, for example. Are you going to refurbish these aircraft inside, or are you going to continue with what they actually have at this stage?
I have mentioned before in my interviews that we are not going to, first of all, we are going to use the new aircrafts. I mean, extra added aircraft, what we are going to get. We have not yet planned anything for the aircraft which we have in our inventories. Post NCLT clearance, we would like to inspect all the aircraft, and then we will see what is to be done. We don't rule out any possibilities. Anything can be possible.
Okay.
But that only after the NCLT.
And what are your views on profitability in this sector? Because aviation is one of those sectors in India which has taken a massive hit, internationally as well, and yet you remain determined to get Jet to fly again. Why the optimism?
We have got an excellent opportunity in the time of pandemic. Our cost, our liabilities are going to be the minimal among all the other airlines in the world. And any business you start with no liabilities or minimal liabilities have the good profitabilities which you can understand. So our situations are totally different among the other airlines. So we have no liabilities. We are going to start. And we are very hopeful if we can, we or any airlines can, this cost can be managed, then they can be in a good profit, good profit in the airlines also. And India, we must understand India is going to be a big market for the aviations.
Mr. Jalan, what is the greatest strength in the airline? It's asset base, the aircraft, the routes, or the staff that the airline has had? Because they've really kept alive the hope, right, which is so important. Tell us about the staff.
Combination of everything is very important, and the assets for the airlines. Good motivated staff for any service industries are the great assets. I would not like to finger for one thing is a great assets. We must understand there is for the Jet, a lot of great assets are there. Either it is a slot, it is the staff, or it is the routes. Apart from that, also the name of the Jet Airways, just like you have told, even you have flied, a lot of people, whoever I have met, they have all flied in the Jet Airways. Everybody is asking when we are coming back. So we have a lot of customer base, and we are very hopeful that all these things are a great assets for the airlines.
Would you be in a position to re-employ most of the people, if not all, who are with the airline and want a job again?
Definitely, my team is working on this also. Once we get the NCLT clearance and once we get other clearances as it is required, we will be definitely looking. They are going to be a great assets for us. As many as we can, we will definitely wanted them to come back.
All right, but I mean, you want them to come back, but in your mind, you have a number of people that you think you can employ at this stage or re-employ at this stage?
No, you see, a lot of combinations are required to see how many aircraft we will get the slots, how many aircraft we can fly, where we can fly, what time we can fly. A lot of things are required, and on the merits of the merits of the people, they will definitely be employed. And if we get the 20, because we have to see the availabilities of the aircraft also, and we are going to scale up. I told you that 125 aircraft we would like to do it in the next 5 years.
Right.
So if we can do it in, so most of the people will be accommodated if in the 5 years, you see, any airlines is required, a lot of people for to run.
Mr. Jalan, I think one of the most fascinating stories in all of this is your story. How from, you know, a small business or a relatively small business background, your interest in the paper industry, and now Jet Airways. How have you made that transition, not just in your business, but in your own mind? I mean, how did that happen?
No, I am, you know, as you know, I am from a very small city of Ranchi. Very few people knows before about the Ranchi. And I am in a business for more than 40 years. But I'm sure you know that last 30 years I am living abroad. I am not in India.
Yes.
But even I am living abroad, I have traveled to a lot of places, but I was based in, I have worked in Russia, Brazil, Dubai, Uzbekistan, so many countries.
No, but I understand that. But why the interest in aviation is my question.
No, no, that was my passions all the way, and we got the good opportunities. So a businessman, any good opportunity is coming, we can always look for the opportunity, and we are very, very hopeful that we can run the airlines and with the same old glory it used to be.
All right, and one final question. You know, you're now seeing the disinvestment process of Air India. So there'll be sooner than later a new Air India. You've got a Vistara which has already started bringing in long-haul aircraft, and you want to restart again. It's going to be a real fight for you. Is that something that you sense?
No, I think there is a lot of space still available in India. Our Prime Minister is looking for the Indian economy is to be done for the $5 trillion. We, as of now in India, we have only 600 aircrafts. So still, I believe if we compare from any part of the world, we are quite less. So I see either it is a Vistara coming or Air India coming in a new makeover or Jet Airways is coming. A lot of space are available for all the airlines, especially for India, for the future of India, what the Prime Minister have did and doing for the Udan scheme and so many things. And a lot of new airport have started in India. A lot of new opportunity is coming. Now everybody want to fly. Very few people whoever can afford, they are ready to fly. So there is a lot of opportunities. At least I am very confident that there is a scope for all of us.
All right. So 6 months later, will we have another interview once you've got that first Jet Airways plane flying? 6 months?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
All right. Of course, yes. So you are confident 6 months, within 6 months,
yes,
we'll have Jet flying again. It'll be one of the most unbelievable turnaround stories in civil aviation, and hopefully that brings hope to so many families of those in Jet who've been out of a job for so long. Thank you, Mr. Jalan. Wonderful speaking to you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you very much.